Hello, everybody. So happy to be here. People on Facebook. We are starting the live session on Instagram as well. So bear with me a little bit. I love it. We're doing this simultaneously on both platforms, which is so incredible, so awesome. So thank you for your beautiful presences. Thank you, everyone. Those of you who are on Instagram and those of you who are on Facebook. We are diving into our psyches, our souls, so that we can create and manifest a beautiful life, right? That's the whole purpose of the Cardinal Method of Life Connection as a method, but also of these live sessions. So it's really exciting to have you guys here. And really, when you think about what you want for your life, you need to understand it starts with your thoughts. It starts with your focus. So when we talk about 3 ways or 3 steps, 3 initial steps to manifest the best of life, we're literally talking about our inner worlds. So I have talked about this in prior live sessions, and the first step is for you to focus on what you want. Because we spend most of our time, usually in our day, autopilot mode tends to be thinking about things we don't like or things we don't want, right? The mind complaining, the thought complaining pattern. So we really contaminate our ability to create something awesome in the world when we don't focus on what we want. So there's a whole live session about this in IGTV on Instagram. There's a video about this in our YouTube channel. If you haven't joined, it will be amazing to see you there. You subscribe to the channel, just watch all the videos. And we have a newsletter. So if you go to my website, you can sign up for that. Every Sunday, there's a new topic. There's something new that we talk about, and there's usually a video to dive into. So hey, good to see everyone here. Thank you for your presences. So when you receive those emails, you receive a link to a video usually, right? Or to something that will encourage you to dive into your world, your inner world, and create amazing things in your life. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Deb. Great to see you. Thank you for your presences. And when you receive that email, you have a chance to go to our YouTube channel and start thinking about the video of the week. And then we can have an opportunity to talk about that here on Instagram, here on Facebook, live, right? But a lot of you may be watching the recording, so you can also comment anything you want below the video. And this process of life connection, hi Deb, so happy to see you here. So this process of life connection that I keep mentioning this, right? In our videos, people here, some of you are Cardinal Method practitioners, some of you are in a course in human nature, some of you are in our meditation series, the Crystals and Chakras meditation series, Cardinal Method meditations. When we talk about life connection is when we surrender to the abundance of life and to the flow of life. And the reason why a lot of us do not live in fulfillment is because first, our thought patterns need to be worked on. So focusing on what you want is something you can do on your own. It's your inner game that you can start just by connecting to your awareness and just observe on autopilot. Do I think about things I don't want, or do I think about things that I do love or that I want to accomplish? And then we start diving into the second step to manifest the best of life, right? To manifest, to lead a happy life. And I talk about happy life. I don't talk about a happier life, because a happier life compared to a miserable life can be a so-so life, right? You don't want a so-so life. You want an amazing life. It is possible. If you don't have an amazing life right now, and I'm not saying a life that's free of problems, because it's part of our human experience to deal with problems and to find solutions to these problems, right? But you deal with the problems with a whole different mindset, and you create better life experiences when you have the proper mindset. That's one thing. And the proper mindset starts with focusing on what you want. There's a lot that you can do on your own to create transformation. We can't do this alone. I'm a living example of this. I changed my life dramatically, but I did have help throughout the process, right? But there are things that we can do on our own. It's our individual self-care. And this is very much about how much you're willing to be aware of your thought processes and of your feeling processes. And again, now this is where we start diving into something deeper than we did in the prior live sessions. If you didn't watch the prior live sessions, they're on IGTV, on Instagram, and they're also here on Facebook. Focusing on what you want directs your mind to visualize and create a better future, or the future that you want. This is scientific. This is how energy works. Energy, as I say, is as scientific as matter, right? Quantum physics is here to prove this, and neuroscience. We know that all the most amazing and the most powerful and cutting-edge universities in the world have departments that study the human psyche and that study quantum physics, that study the power of meditation. So your present moment reality was created by your thought patterns in the past. And you can change those thought patterns right now to manifest a different reality in the future. This starts with focusing on what you want. However, and that's when I ask all my clients and my students to pay close attention to their focus. How do you feel about your focus? Let's say if you're here, hi, I see some amazing people here. Hi, Leticia, great to see you. If you guys want to share anything, it doesn't have to be a huge thing, anything that you want to manifest in your life. Focusing on what you want. It could be big, it could be small, right? It could be, I don't know, a bracelet that you want, or it could be going to a restaurant, it could be a trip, it could be seeing someone you haven't seen in a long time, it could be releasing any kind of grudge or any problems that you have. Maybe there's forgiveness in a relationship. Anything that you want to manifest, just think about it. And if you want to share, that would be amazing, because we can work with your examples here. And there's nothing more powerful, I believe, than seeing other people's stories be unraveled and be worked on, because someone else's story is your story. A stranger's story could be your story, right? So the more you guys share here, ask questions or experiences, you're helping the world heal. You're sharing very generously and helping other people. So take a deep breath, think of something you want. And as you think of whatever it is that you want, let's say you want to take a trip. Oh, I work a lot with immigrants. I live in Florida, and there are a lot of immigrants here, right? It's almost like whenever we held group sessions, Cardinal Method group sessions presently, it was kind of like the UN, because there were people from different countries. So let's say you want to travel to your home country to see your family. You want to focus on that. How do you feel about it? Does it feel wonderful, or does it feel tense? Do you feel anxiety? Do you find excuses not to take that trip? Because a lot of people move to another country or to another city to run away from their problems. There was trauma in their hometown, there was trauma in their country, and they just flee, they just withdraw, they just take action to leave whatever that place did to them, and they're running away from that traumatic experience. It's too heavy emotionally. So think about it. Is whatever it is that you are focusing on, is it something you want, or is it something someone else wants for you? Think about changing careers, for example. Do you feel good about that? Or investing in your career, investing in your business. Does that feel amazing? Or do you then feel fearful? Your feelings are the second step to manifest a happy life. Because depending on how you feel about your focus, you can very well discern if it's someone else's desire for you and you've embraced it as your own. It could be that. Sometimes people choose careers that are just to please their parents, or maybe they say, I want to go to that place, and that's the spouse's wish. It's not that person's wish, and you're doing something to please someone else. So focusing on what you want requires you to observe if that's your heart's desire, or if you're choosing to focus on someone else's desire to make someone else happy, maybe not you, okay? But we don't want to focus on what we don't want. We want to focus on what we want, and one way to find out what we want is how we feel, is check in with our hearts and see how we feel about it. So if it feels amazing, let's say you're very aligned with your heart and you know exactly what you want. Let's say you want to travel to Hawaii, and that's your heart's wish, and that's what you want, and when you think about it, you feel amazing. Then that's the second step to start creating a happy life. Because if you focus on something and you manifest something that's not your heart's wish, that's not a happy life, right? But if you focus on something and that feels good before you manifest it, you know you're on the best life track. You know you're on the best path. That's very important. And once you align with whatever it is that you want, that your heart desires, what do you believe is the next step? The next step is something that a lot of people have told me, because remember, we have a newsletter. I send emails on Sundays, and people answer my emails, and I ask them, what are the 4 inner strengths? I asked them a couple of weeks ago, what are the 4 inner strengths that show you're on the best path, right, to create a happy life? And we had a live session about that here as well. It's recorded, it's on IGTV. So most people told me that their hardest inner strength to tap into, the most resistance they dealt was with self-permission. Maybe you know what you want. Maybe you focus your mind on what you want. Maybe you feel good about it, hopefully, right? But people tend to stall. There's a huge obstacle called self-permission, that people feel guilty about pursuing their dreams. They feel guilty about pursuing their happiness and their joy for many reasons. And we cannot, in general terms, pinpoint exactly what your individual problem is. But the more you know the theory, the more you are starting to create consciousness expansion, to heal your soul, to dissolve the obstacles that need to be dissolved, so that you can manifest a happy life, so that you can create joy in your life, genuine joy, right? Not make-believe joy, because sometimes we pretend that we're happy, but happiness and joy are about peace, well-being, and abundance. And a lot of people really stall in the 3rd step. I'm not kidding when I say this. Many of us feel guilty about being happy. Why do we do this to ourselves? Because we tend to look at people around us and observe them and come to the conclusion that the people around us are not happy. Or maybe they really aren't. Maybe you're not making it up. Maybe it's real, right? Maybe you come from a family of unhappy people, or your friends are depressive, whatever it is. Or you, like me, and that has been a struggle for me, it was really, really problematic for me as a person when I was younger, to give myself permission to be happy, coming from a country with so many economic challenges like Brazil, right? So I would think, how can I be happy if I'm surrounded by unhappy people? How can I give myself permission to live in abundance, in material abundance, if there's so many people who don't have anything to eat, who live in houses that don't even have, proper water and this and that? It could be anything in your life, but if you truly want to create a happy life for yourself, you need to observe your levels of self-permission to pursue the life that you want and start releasing the guilt of happiness. If you come from an unhappy family, if you live in a country where people are depressed or where there's a lot of poverty, like my country of origin, try to observe this from a different angle. If there are unhappy people in the world, everybody, you have control. I don't really like that word, but you can master the energies of your life. You cannot master the energies of other people's lives. But the happier you are, the more abundant you are, the more you can be a source of energy, the more you can be a pillar of light for other people. If you fall in the quicksand of unhappiness, of scarcity, of complaining how terrible the world is, you won't have the energy to take action to help yourself or other people. So self-permission is not selfish. Self-permission is creating the inner resources and the outer resources for yourself to be happy and joyful. And then you will overflow with energy to help other people become happy and healthy and fulfilled. Is that making sense? So the self-permission step is so important when it comes to your inner game, to start changing your life and to start creating a better life for yourself. This is not pursuing selfishness. This is about the reason why every human being on the planet was born. I keep saying this all the time. You're going to see me repeating this many, many times. We were born to expand our consciousness and to enjoy life, to be happy people. Expanding consciousness allows you to see where the obstacles of your life are, and if with the proper system and the proper guidance, you can dissolve these obstacles so that you can be truly happy. So the reason why you were born, to be a happy person, requires your dedication, because we have accumulated from many layers of consciousness, from past lives, from ancestors, from family, from our inner child wounds, from our ego control. We have created unhappiness within that may have become autopilot. And if you want to change your life and create a better, happier future, it starts with focusing on what you want. Secondly, with discerning if what you want is really your heart's desire or if you're just pleasing someone else. That's the second step. Focus on what you want, number one. Observe how you feel about it, number two. Oh, hi, Jackie. Good to see you. I see some amazing people here. Oh, that's amazing. Welcome, everyone. So happy to see you. Hi, Clara. Cardinal Method practitioners here. Beautiful. So, step number two. Step number one, focus on what you want. Step number two, feel what your focus brings to your heart. How does your body feel? What's the sensation? What's the emotion? Does it feel right? Does it feel light? Or does it feel heavy? Do you cringe? Do you feel anxious? Right? I gave the example in the beginning of the live session. You believe you want to travel somewhere. Maybe it's your country of origin if you're an immigrant. Does it feel light? Does it feel aligned? Or are you going because people are craving your presence? Or you still haven't worked through your trauma with your country of origin and you're not ready to return? Observe your feelings and emotions, because they can be blockages to a happy life. But if you focus on what you want, let's say a vacation, right? That you're doing this for your beautiful pleasure. And there's nothing wrong with feeling pleasure. This is another thing about self-permission. We often feel guilty about pleasure. We think we're giving ourselves the luxury of pleasure. pleasure is a birthright, okay? It's not a luxury. I observe my readers and my students and my clients' vocabulary, and different people use the same words pretty often. They say, oh, it's a luxury to meditate. It's a luxury to give myself free time. It's not a luxury. It's your birthright. And even if it's a luxury, it's not a luxury in a sense of something superfluous and only for the chosen few. Pleasure, free time, enjoying life, traveling to a beautiful place is everyone's birthright. Not everybody is able to do that yet in the planet, but I do believe this is an abundant universe, and that if we organize ourselves in a beautiful way within and give ourselves permission, we will start creating and manifesting a much happier and a much more abundant life with opportunities of pleasure that are going to be way more abundant, right? Way more numerous than possibly right now. So step number 1, focus on what you want. Step number 2, observe how you feel about your focus. Discern if it's your heart's desire or if you're pleasing someone. And number 3, in this initial phase, right, of understanding all this, see if you give yourself permission to follow through with what you want. Observe if your focus, what will make you happy, is something you allow yourself to pursue. If you give yourself permission to move forward with that desire, do you take action to manifest it? And do you keep focusing on your dreams and goals, or do you think about it and say, oh, that's not for me. Oh, I wish. That's not possible. You know, if you think of the possibility and then you yourself with your thoughts deny it immediately in your mind, that potential will not very likely manifest. So it's important to be diligent about what you want to manifest and keep your focus there, to be very clear about what your dreams are, and if you're not pleasing other people and believing other people's dreams are your dreams. And thirdly, and lastly, for this live session, the self-permission piece is important. Giving yourself permission to be happy. Giving yourself permission to be alive in the planet in happiness and joy. Because if you don't give yourself permission, all the abundance in the world may be available, but if you don't reach out for it, if you don't grab it, it's just a potential. Is that making sense? So I want to thank everybody for being here. Very, very honored with your presences. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask these questions. And if you're just watching the recording, every time is divine timing, right? We listen to the things we need to listen to when the time is right. But in these live sessions, we have the opportunity to chat. So if you have questions or if you want to share an experience, now is the time, and other people can benefit from your story. So we are always open, and next week we're going to come to another live session to dive a little deeper into this topic of manifesting the best of life. What would be for you the best life path, and how you can start truly creating that, which is something that I'm really looking forward to bringing to you. So, beautiful people, thank you for your presences here. I know a lot of people are shy about interacting online with the internet, interacting live. No problem. I will see you. Hi, Andrea. Good to see you here. Good night. I will see you guys next week for our next live session, and hopefully this will bring you some inspiration to start thinking about your self-permission to pursue the best of life, to pursue what you believe is your happiness, right? And if you haven't yet manifested it, if it's not, if your life still has a lot of potential for fulfillment, there are many ways that you can start manifesting that. And I'm sure that you can create a beautiful life for yourself with the proper guidance, with the proper system, but it starts with your self-permission, right? With your mind focus, with your discernment of what it is that you really want, and with your self-permission. 3 first steps to start manifesting your life. So thank you, everyone. If you're not yet in our YouTube channel, there's a video about this topic too. You can go there and watch it. Subscribe to the channel and share it with people. Share this video, share this live session, or in YouTube you can share with other people what you believe, if you believe they can benefit from this content, which I'm sure they can, right? Who doesn't want to be happy? So thank you, Deb, for your presence. Thank you, everyone who's watching. Amazing. People from different places in the world. I love it. Thank you so much. It's always wonderful to see you all here. And I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye. Oops.